Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 487 based on novel. So let's start. He saw sky. The sky was calm, with no clouds or wind. It was like a blue picture hanging in the air. However, there was giant hole to the left of the sky. This hole was tens of thousands of feet wide. It was a shocking sight. It was like a piece of paper that had a hole poked through. There was even debris along the edge. In the hole, he saw something that was tens of thousands of feet thick, and the part that was outside the hole was hundreds of thousands of feet long. It was an arrow. This arrow penetrated through this sky, but it was half stuck inside. Under this sky was a vast earth. There were no mountains, it was a bare plain that seemed to go on forever. It was as if a powerful force had come through and destroyed this place, leaving nothing but death. Wang Lin appeared above this earth and looked directly at the arrow. Wang Lin's entire body was startled there. A chilly aura came from the arrow and bombarded the area between his eyebrows. This caused his body to tremble violently. At this moment, his left eye felt violent pain. The ancient inheritance and the memories inside erupted like a storm. Blood flowed out from Wang Lin's left eye and fell on his clothes. Ling Guang shot down my left eye. That left eye contained all my thoughts and memories of my hometown. That voice in Wang Lin's mind became louder and louder until it became a roar. Give me back my left eye? Wang Lin's body trembled, and his face was filled with confusion and struggle. The scene in his memory was something he couldn't forget. In that scene, Ling Guang held the bow with his left hand and pulled the string with his right. The arrow shot out with a monstrous howl. That arrow broke through the void and the ancient spell. It shot through his head and took the left eye before disappearing among the stars. After a long time, Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood. His body trembled and he retreated a few steps before sitting down to cultivate. He cultivated for a long time, and after an unknown amount of time passed, he let out a breath of foul gas. He opened his eyes and looked at the arrow in the sky with a complicated expression. Yimo's left eye is not here, only this arrow. Wang Lin looked at the arrow. He had to admit, his guess was only half correct. Aside from Yimo's left eye, which had the ancient aura, and the bow, which had the celestial energy, there was one more thing that could contain the rejection force. That was the arrow. Wang Lin looked at the dry black blood marks on the arrow and felt the ancient aura coming from it. This blood was from Yimo's left eye? He saw that the tip of the arrow wasn't sharp like a thorn, but round like a ring. This wasn't a piercing arrow, and the circle looked like a seal. Precious things must be hidden in a place no one can find. The kind of treasure that you can't use must especially be hidden well. Once it is discovered, it could cause a disaster for your entire clan. The Tattoo clan hid it very well. Wang Lin looked at the arrow in the sky. He understood a lot now. Various scenes appeared in his head. These connected with his memories, forming the whole situation. Yimo had used his spell to kill countless people before him. Ling Guang's arrow had pierced through his left eye and taken it away. It then flew off into the stars, into the endless void. That arrow was very large, and the power inside could pierce Yimo's left eye, much less space. As it flew, nothing could stop it at all. At that time, there was no realm ceiling formation. As it flew, it penetrated several large cultivation planets, causing them to collapse before it disappeared into the distance. However, as the arrow flew, the left eye fell in the outer or inner realm. It fell into the vastness of space and went somewhere unknown. When the arrow arrived in the inner realm, not much of its power remained. It pierced through into a separate space someone had set up at an unknown time. This separate space was what Wang Lin was seeing right now. Perhaps there were many beasts and plants before. Perhaps there were cultivators here and this place was once filled with life. However, on the day the arrow arrived, it broke through the sky, forming that giant hole. Due to most of its power having dissipated, it was stuck inside the hole it had created. As the giant arrow pierced through the sky, the remaining killing intent released and fused with the ancient blood. This was the fusion of celestial energy and ancient energy, forming that shocking rejection force. This rejection force didn't collapse but gathered at the tip and then was absorbed by the seal at the tip of the arrow. It would then turn into rings and shoot toward the earth below. At the beginning, these rings were the same as the tip of the arrow, tens of thousands of feet wide. However, the further the rings went, the smaller they became. The rings pierced through the earth and got smaller and smaller as they made their way underground. Finally, the ring would only be the size of a fist, which was what Wang Lin had seen on the stone door. As the rings spread, they would into storms that swept this area. All the mountains collapsed and all the rivers dried up. The dried-up rivers' paths shattered. The ocean here flew into the air and dissipated. The basin that was ocean disappeared as if a giant hand had flattened it. The countless beasts all died tragically and their flesh dissipated. Perhaps they didn't even have time to let out cries before they died. There was no need to talk about the vegetation. It turned to ashes and flew away with the storm. There was also the cultivators that might have existed there. It might have been one person, a sect, or a lot. However, they all died in this storm. The storm stirred up the world and destroyed everything. That's why this world was flat but filled with death aura. This world was hidden within space. It was due to the celestial energy from the arrow that no one could find it. It wasn't until after the realm ceiling formation appeared and the inner and outer realms had battled countless times that on a certain day, someone from the outer realm calculated its fate position. As a result, the Tattoo clan entered. Perhaps the sovereign's daughter's purpose was to scheme against Qing Lin, or perhaps her real purpose was to find this arrow. After enduring many twists and turns, the Tattoo clan found this world where the arrow was. However, they also found that they couldn't dissipate this rejection force, so they were unable to control it. They sealed this place. Perhaps the sealing extermination clan had helped them. In the end, they left that door here. That door was placed in an ingenious spot and used the circle to form the first seal on the door. They were waiting for the sovereign to personally come and take this arrow. However, during this time, a huge upheaval occurred. The sovereign's daughter was sealed by Qing Lin in the demon spirit land. The Tattoo clan was slaughtered by the 4 celestial realms and left in ruins. A portion of the clan members were taken as slaves by the celestials and became the chosen immortal clan. A group of them left and came to planet Suzaku and survived here. That door was in their hands and was buried here. The truth gradually dissipated and was replaced with a legend that the 19th layer was sealing a portion of their ancestors' soul. Perhaps the sovereign had come here before. He was willing to enter the sealed realm no matter the cost. Maybe aside from killing the lord of the sealed realm, he had also come for the arrow the Tattoo clan found. However, the roar from the inner realm broke the sovereign's plan. It terrified him and he was forced out from the inner realm with serious injuries. This arrow remained here forever and was sealed by the Tattoo clan for countless years. Eventually, not even Yun Kezi knew the truth, until Wang Lin's arrival. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He didn't know if his guess was correct. This was all formed by connecting things he knew. Perhaps this was the truth. While silently pondering, Wang Lin took a step forward. With that step, Wang Lin arrived next to the arrow that was half sticking out of the sky. Beside it, Wang Lin looked very small. It was like a person next to a mountain. He took a deep breath and sat down on the giant arrow. He then pointed at the dried ancient blood and closed his eyes. The ancient god stars between his eyebrows rotated rapidly and he began to absorb. He was going to absorb the blood from Yi Mo's left eye? This blood contained a very well-hidden demonic energy. This demonic energy was very useful to Wang Lin. As he absorbed, Wang Lin waved his left hand and his storage space appeared. The ancient demon statue appeared and his left hand grabbed it. Time slowly passed. There wasn't much blood in the left eye left, and as time passed, most of its power dissipated. However, the left eye was formed by a 9-star ancient demon, so although there wasn't much blood, it was still great nourishment for Wang Lin. The ancient demon power refined from the blood entered Wang Lin's body through his right arm. After making a cycle around his body, it went into the ancient demon statue in his left hand. That ancient demon statue gave off a demonic red glow as if it was awakening, and it continued to absorb the ancient demon power. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Until the 10th day. Perhaps the time here flowed differently from outside, but Wang Lin felt like 10 days had passed. The ancient blood before him slowly dried up, but the ancient demon statue beside him was like heaven and earth compared to before. Ancient demon stars gradually appeared in its left eye. 1, 2, 5 ancient demon stars appeared. The demonic red light it gave off almost colored the entire world. On the 11th day, the ancient blood collapsed into red fragments and floated before Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he waved his right hand without hesitation. He immediately pulled all the red blood fragments into his hand, so now his hand looked like a dark red blood palm. He looked at the ancient demon statue and pressed his palm between its eyebrows. There was a thunderous bang when the palm landed. All the dried blood fragments in Wang Lin's palm entered the ancient demon statue. This caused the statue to release a shocking amount of demonic energy that howled through the sky. At this moment, the 5 ancient demon stars in its left eye flashed rapidly and a faint 6th vortex appeared. This vortex was rapidly condensing toward a real 6th star. There wasn't much ancient blood here. And over the years, most of the power has dissipated. But I still have that other ancient demon. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his left hand reached out to open a rift to his storage space. He took out the ancient demon he had captured from Blood God. This ancient demon was sealed and was asleep. Wang Lin ripped away the seal, and the moment he awakened, Wang Lin's hand landed on his body. A thunderous bang rang out and the ancient demon stars in the ancient demon's left eye collapsed. A surge of demonic energy moved toward the ancient demon statue under Wang Lin's control. After fusing with the demonic energy, the ancient demon was red enough that it looked like blood. The 6th ancient demon star directly formed and the vortex for the 7th star appeared. With the last of the blood from Yi Mo's left eye and the power from the ancient demon inside Blood God, Wang Lin's ancient demon statue was able to form its 7th star. Just as Wang Lin had promised, he didn't kill the ancient demon inside Blood God but kept his soul. The ancient demon was sealed and placed in Wang Lin's storage space. Wang Lin was going to release the ancient demon after exiting this place. Since I can't find Yi Mo's left eye, I'll raise my own. Wang Lin could feel a powerful blood connection when he looked at the ancient demon statue. He waved his sleeve and put the bright red statue inside his storage space. After doing all of this, Wang Lin looked at the giant arrow below him and his eyes lit up. This arrow now belongs to me. With a Ling Guang bow, I wonder how powerful it will be. Wang Lin slowly placed his right hand on the arrow. He endured the rejection force inside his body and used the celestial bloodline power inside his body. The moment the celestial energy moved, his body trembled. Golden light came from his origin soul and his body seemed to become transparent. A bow slowly appeared from his body. This bow was like Wang Lin's tendons and gave off bursts of golden light from his body. At this moment, Wang Lin was that bow. The moment the bow appeared, the giant arrow below Wang Lin trembled. It seemed to sense the bow, and a powerful arrow energy erupted from the arrow and shot toward Wang Lin. At this instant, Wang Lin felt an ancient soul. This soul was the soul of the arrow. It seemed to have awakened from its slumber and rushed into Wang Lin's body. It made contact with the bow. Wang Lin remained calm and slowly said, "Smaller." The moment he spoke, the giant arrow trembled and shrank. The arrow immediately slid out from the hole and dropped tens of thousands of feet before it got stuck once more. A bit smaller. Wang Lin's voice was cold and the arrow trembled as it shrank a lot more. As it shrank, it continued to fall from the hole until it landed on the ground. A thunderous rumble echoed when the arrow fell on the ground, stabbing into the earth. The arrow trembled, and Wang Lin landed on the end of the arrow, where the 9 feathers were. These 9 feathers were very soft. Wang Lin stood on the arrow and his body bobbed up and down as the arrow trembled. After shrinking twice, the arrow was still 100,000 feet long and thousands of feet wide. It was like a giant pillar stabbed into the earth diagonally. As Wang Lin stood on the arrow, he looked at the hole in the sky. It was completely black inside, leading to an unknown place. The edges of the hole were slowly moving, it was actually slowly healing. This place is strange, Wang Lin lowered his head. His right hand formed a seal and then pointed at the arrow. Smaller, smaller, smaller. The giant arrow trembled once more and shrank rapidly. Eventually, it started shining. Wang Lin landed on the ground and the arrow was now normal-sized. Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the arrow flew into his hand. Holding this arrow, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He saw 4 runes on the arrow. They were slender and spread across the entire arrow, giving it a faint glow. These 4 runes are related to the soul and can increase the power of the arrow. Back then, Ling Guang used this arrow to shoot out Yimo's left eye. I wonder what souls he used. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before his left hand pointed at his forehead. His ancient god stars appeared and the Emperor Furnace flew out. The moment the giant Emperor Furnace appeared, it started rotating slowly. Wang Lin could clearly see the souls of 2 people inside the furnace. Esteemed Nan Zhao, esteemed teacher Tian Zhao. Their souls were being suppressed inside the Emperor Furnace by Wang Lin. I'll use their souls to reinforce this arrow. Wang Lin's expression remained indifferent and his left hand pointed at the Emperor Furnace. The furnace trembled, the lid opened, and their souls flew out. Before they could escape, Wang Lin's left hand grabbed them. Their souls screamed as Wang Lin pressed them into the arrow in his right hand. The runes on the arrow trembled violently and their souls stopped screaming. Their souls fused with 2 of the runes, and at this moment, a heaven-shaking aura erupted from the arrow. This aura was very strong, so much so that even Wang Lin was shocked. There are still 2 souls to go. As for which souls to seal, Wang Lin pondered and his left hand reached out. The rift to his storage space appeared and a giant pavilion flew out. This was the Earth Palace Wang Lin had found in the ancient tomb. There were several windows inside this pavilion. Back then, Wang Lin saw 3 powerful souls inside. Unless it was the last resort, it couldn't be opened. At this moment, Wang Lin stared at the Earth Palace and the 3 souls inside. After pondering for a bit, instead of acting recklessly, he put the Earth Palace away. Those 3 souls are too powerful, they were Yimo's enemies he sealed back in his homeland. If I release them now, with my current power, I would suffer. While pondering, Wang Lin's gaze fell on the circle at the tip of the arrow. Wang Lin looked at it for several hours. This circle was the key to the rejection force formed by the fusion of celestial and ancient energies. However, after a long time, Wang Lin still couldn't see through the mystery of this circle. He let out a sigh and gave up observing. He then waved his right hand and the arrow dissipated into 7 strands of light that entered his body through his orifices. After putting away the arrow, Wang Lin looked around. He took a step and his body entered the earth. He followed the rings and headed toward the stone gate. He was extremely calm and calmly arrived at the last circle where the stone door was. He didn't hesitate to wave his right hand to open the stone door. He then stepped through and returned the 18th layer. Standing in the 18th layer, Wang Lin looked back at the stone door and the stone door closed. He placed many seals before he was ready to leave. I need to refine the Tao fruits to allow my life and death, karma, and true and false essences reach completion. Wang Lin turned to leave, but then he suddenly stopped. His gaze fell on the wall that had been hit by the force he had used to open the stone door. That wall was filled with cracks and a large amount of rocks had fallen off. One crack was very deep and seemed to penetrate the wall, revealing the scene behind the wall. Wang Lin's attention had been fully focused on the door, so he hadn't noticed the crack on the wall before. Now that he had calmed down, he immediately noticed that it was strange. His gaze followed the crack and he faintly saw that the outside was a dark void. The aura that leaked in from the crack was very familiar to Wang Lin. Wang Lin murmured, "Foreign battleground." The 18th layer of the Tattoo clan isn't located in the depths of planet Suzaku but in the foreign battleground. Wang Lin walked up to the wall and pressed his right hand against it. Cracking sounds echoed as the cracks connected and the wall collapsed, revealing a gap. Wang Lin stood inside the gap. Before him was the foreign battleground. The entire foreign battleground was extremely large, almost without limit. Wang Lin saw a few large corpses slowly floating through the endless void. There was a large amount of ghost-like things drilling through the corpses. In the distance, there seemed to be storms silently raging. Although they were silent, they seemed to be giving off screams that could be heard by the soul. These storms were formed by these ghost-like things. Wang Lin's mind trembled and his divine sense spread out. He clearly saw that at this moment, he was also near a huge skeleton. This was not the skeleton of a person but of a dragon-like beast. He was located near the skull of this beast. The wall he had broken was part of the beast's skull. He was standing in the skull, looking ahead. If one looked at Wang Lin from inside the foreign battleground, they would clearly see that there were countless corpses surrounding this giant skull. The distant storms closed in, but when they closed in, countless wandering souls scattered in terror. It was as if they were extremely afraid of Wang Lin's existence. Wang Lin was once a soul devourer. Wang Lin stared at the foreign battleground. He had been to too many planets and far too many places, but he had never seen another planet with a foreign battleground like planet Suzaku. It was as if the foreign battleground only belonged to planet Suzaku, only belonged to the cultivators of planet Suzaku. While silently pondering, Wang Lin stepped forward. After more than 2,000 years, he stepped into the foreign battleground that had given him a new life. He could not forget the day he was killed by the Ting family ancestor. Then, with the help of the heaven-defying bead and Sichu Nan, his soul entered his place. He then found Mai Liang's dead body, and that began his new life. After a long time, Wang Lin's divine Sene continued to spread across the foreign battleground. He saw too many corpses and too many wandering souls. All the wandering souls screamed and retreated in fear. However, in the end, they couldn't escape and could only tremble before his divine sense. Some of those corpses belonged to cultivators, but most of them were strange beasts. Wang Lin hadn't seen more than half of those beasts. His divine sense spread out more and more, surpassing all the places he had gone before. It even surpassed anywhere the cultivators of planet Suzaku had explored. Wang Lin saw even more corpses. A moment later, Wang Lin's divine sense seemed to touch the edge of the foreign battleground. There seemed to be a faint barrier that confined his divine sense. His eyes lit up. His divine sense didn't stop but continued to push outward. A violent rumble echoed across the foreign battleground. It sounded like a mirror had shattered. Wang Lin's divine sense broke the barrier and saw what was beyond it. It was still the foreign battleground, but it was even bigger. Compared to inside the barrier, it was like comparing the river to the ocean. Wang Lin's mind trembled and his divine sense continued to spread. In the foreign battleground outside the barrier, Wang Lin saw corpses giving off a golden glow. Those corpses that gave off the golden light were celestials. He saw countless beasts whose corpses were extremely fierce and gave off powerful auras. It was obvious that they were extremely powerful when they were alive. His divine sense spread out even more. He saw the large corpses of mosquitoes, he saw the corpse of a Ji Cheong, and he even saw countless beast corpses that were hundreds of thousands of feet large. Aside from the nether beast, all the other beasts he had seen in his life existed in the foreign battleground. Wang Lin's mind trembled like a wave. His divine sense spread out even more through the endless corpses and finally hit the real edge. His divine sense covered the entire foreign battleground. At this moment, Wang Lin's pupils shrank and he was horrified. When his divine sense covered the entire foreign battleground, he saw that this whole foreign battleground was just a large fragment. This fragment had a strange connection with planet Suzaku, as if planet Suzaku had been born because of it. This fragment had an irregular shape, as if it was part of something. Wang Lin's mind rumbled. At this moment, he thought of the shocking secret the old vermilion bird divine emperor had passed on to him. Planet Suzaku was part of the door. Those words echoed in Wang Lin's mind and slowly fused with the foreign battleground in his divine sense. After gaining such enlightenment, he immediately recognized the foreign battleground as part of that mysterious door. The door that the four divine sect found. What kind of door is it? Does the ancestor in the fallen land know of this? Wang Lin stood there for a long time and slowly suppressed the shock in his mind. He eventually thought of the silver-haired woman, the mournful scream she let out when she saw the seven-colored Daoist statue. I didn't open the door. I didn't open the door, Wang Lin silently pondered. He didn't know if the two doors were referring to the same one. He slowly withdrew his divine sense until he returned to his body. He looked at the foreign battleground with a complicated gaze and then left. Wang Lin had found too many things on this trip back to planet Suzaku. These things were overwhelming and made planet Suzaku feel even more unfamiliar. Red Butterfly didn't die. The 19th layer in the Tattoo clan was sealing the Ling Guang arrow. The foreign battleground from the past was only a small area and there is a wider world outside. It turns out to be part of the door. Wang Lin sat down on top of a mountain on planet Suzaku. He faced the howling mountain wind as it blew his hair and clothes. There was a complicated gaze in his eyes. As my cultivation level increased, I gradually learned about the secrets of planet Suzaku. So it turns out it's like this. Wang Lin looked at the dark sky before him and dark clouds gathered. Thunder rumbled in the distance and it began to rain. A white bird quickly flapped its wings and flew before the clouds in an attempt to avoid the dark clouds that were putting it through a life and death crisis. However, there was a thunderous rumble and the bird's body trembled as it was devoured by the rolling black clouds. Seeing this, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and he vaguely felt like something was wrong. That rain was moving with the wind and hadn't arrived yet. The gust of wind blew the moist air toward Wang Lin and brought the chill of the rain. It was very cold. This rain was the autumn rain. The sky gradually became completely dark and the thunderous rumbles continued. It seemed to be coming closer and closer to the peak Wang Lin was on. The dark clouds were like black ink spreading across a piece of paper. The rain became even heavier. The clattering of the rain entered Wang Lin's ears, becoming more and more intense. The dust on the ground was supposed to be kicked up by the rain but didn't move at all. The small pebbles around Wang Lin on the mountain would originally be blown away by the wind, but right now there seemed to be an invisible force suppressing them. They remained motionless. A thunderous rumble echoed and a few more bolts of lightning connected the heavens and earth in the horizon before Wang Lin's eyes. They lit up the dark clouds, looking like silver snakes or a mark. Looking at the rolling black clouds, Wang Lin let out a deep breath and an inexplicable sense of irritation entered his mind. Wang Lin frowned and suppressed the discoveries he had made on planet Suzaku. Right now, he was going to complete his life and death, karma, and true and false essences. He would then refine the slaughter essence sword Qing Shui had given him and use his 6 essences to break open the void gate. Wang Lin stood up and was about to leave. Behind him, the rolling clouds rushed over as if there was a slaughter god inside staring at Wang Lin. It wanted to devour and destroy him just like the bird. The lightning crisscrossed and flickered. As the rain fell, killing intent erupted from the black clouds. That killing intent appeared very abruptly. Wang Lin's right foot that had just risen suddenly stopped and all the hairs on his body stood up. The powerful feeling of a life and death crisis shook his body as he stared at the black clouds. His expression was extremely serious. Something's wrong. The 3 images Wang Lin saw before flashed through his head. The flying bird died, the dust didn't drift, and the pebbles didn't move. This life and death crisis was beyond what he felt in the ancient tomb and beyond any encounter he had after returning to the inner realm. This was like the life and death calamity that Red Butterfly had brought and was something Wang Lin had to face. Only after surviving this life and death calamity would he be qualified to continue living. This was the enlightenment he had gained the moment he saw the rolling black clouds in the distance. The rolling clouds didn't have real killing intent, this killing intent came from the change in the thunder created by the clouds. It came from Wang Lin's own intuition. This change didn't happen earlier or now but just as Wang Lin noticed it. It was a heavenly change. Heavenly change. Wang Lin's pupils shrank. He didn't hesitate to spread his divine sense out across the entire planet and rush into space. Once he saw the space outside, his expression changed. This video will end here.